collectors, and welcome to another Bosk's Bounty video. And in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Battle Droid 4-pack. This is once again one of those white boxed army builders where you get 4 loose figures, and on this occasion we've got 3 battle droids and a battle droid commander. Now this release of this particular 4-pack of battle droids did baffle me ever so slightly, and I'll come on to that later in the review. But if you do happen to enjoy the video, hit the like button down below, subscribe if you are new, and let's take a look at the packaging. Alright then, so these Army Builder 4-packs, we've had a few of them now, and this one is no different in the fact that it's a white box with like a line drawing, very sort of minimalistic details, and you do get the occasional piece of colour, and on this occasion it is for the battle droid commander there that's got that yellow on there. Top of the box you get a larger image of the battle droid commander with the Vintage Collection logo, and really there's nothing else too much going on. Obviously on the front it shows what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 battle droids, but you don't get 8 inside. You just get 4, which are these, and 3 are going to be identical and 1's going to be the commander. So with all that being said, we've had a look at the packaging. Let's open it up and see what we've got. Oh wow, okay, so that is a little bit different. This is the first time I've seen them do this. Usually with these Army Builder 4-packs you get the figures in little wax packets, little paper bags separated by cardboard, and on this occasion we've got a plastic tray with all 4. You can see the commander on the left, 3 battle droids, and then you get the backpacks and then the alternate backpack as well. So you can choose how you want to display your battle droids. There is a wax packet, and I guess that's going to contain the blasters. So we'll take all of these out and check them out. Alright then, so here are the battle droids out of the packaging and all set up. You can see we've got the commander on the right of centre there. Now, I am going to talk about the positives of this set first of all. I feel that there's like 2 positives. The first positive is the paint applications, which isn't something we can often say. On this particular set, each battle droid has been weathered ever so slightly differently. So the battle damage on their chest or on their legs is ever so slightly different from each other, and also the backpacks as well. They are weathered ever so slightly differently as well. So they all have different sort of markings on them, which is a great thing. No 2 droids in this set are the same, which is great news. The second positive thing is the fact that they've updated the legs, although that does kind of equal a negative as well, which I'll get onto in a second. But essentially they've updated the legs, so anything from the waist down now is new. So they've got kind of like a ball joint on the hips. They've got swivel legs which go right up like the previous version did. I'll just show you that on this guy. So when you move the knees, they go right way past 90 like so. So that is a positive as well. They've got hinges at the ankles and things like that. And as you can see, they've made the legs ever so slightly thicker than the previous version to give him a bit of stability. Now the problem with that positive is it also does equal a negative in my opinion. So if you look at how thick and chunky his legs are compared to his arms, for example, if you look on this one here, then they kind of look a little bit out of proportion. But I wouldn't say that that's the sort of biggest negative really. I think they look okay. You know, you can pose them a little bit better than you could previously, although they are droids, so they're not going to be going around doing, you know, somersaults or anything like that, but you can pose them a little bit more. However, and this is the biggest negative for me, they haven't updated the arms whatsoever, and the arms really were the main gripe about this figure, apart from the fact that it was really bendy plastic. It always fell over. You know, this figure was pretty poor, it has to be said. And unfortunately the arms and elbows and wrists have not been updated, so you are unable to hold the blaster in both hands. The hands hold the blasters a little bit awkwardly anyway, but as I say, you're unable to get them into that pose without bending the arms to hold the blaster in both hands, which of course they do in multiple scenes of the movie. Now, one other thing that I would say is I've only just noticed about this release, or the battle droid in general. I think I've only just noticed that the head goes up and down. I'm not too sure if I even noticed that when I reviewed this figure. So the head does go up and down into the body, which is great obviously because they do come out of that MTT all sort of coiled up, and then they, you know, sort of stand up all together in unison, and that head sort of pops out, doesn't it? And, you know, the head does go in and out of that body. But the biggest thing about this set for me is, why have we got this set this year? I don't have anything else that I can think of that's been released this year that goes with these battle droids. And if you're considering that next year is going to be the Battle of Geonosis, wouldn't it have been better if Hasbro had actually taken the time and the money, the expense, to actually create a brand new battle droid, instead of just going half measures and giving us just new legs, making the figure out of proportion? He still can't hold the blaster properly, which was the main gripe of the figure, really, in my opinion. But I've got to say, they do look a little bit better. They do. They look pretty cool standing there. But in my opinion, they should have waited, man. They should have waited till next year, Battle of Geonosis, and brought out an all-new battle droid sculpt that's, you know, up there with what the Black Series have, basically. But this is what we've got now. We've got half a figure, basically. So in my opinion, I really feel that this release is kind of pointless. As I said, it should have been made next year to go in line with the Battle of Geonosis, and they should have given us an all-new battle droid, both on card and in a 4-pack like this. And then while they're at it, they can do C-3PO as well with the swappable head. So that's just my opinion on this set. I just think it's a bit of a pointless release. Half-hearted measures in terms of updating the figure when it should have been all new, in my opinion. They could have made a few different versions of this one that they've released in the past, like Battlefront 2 versions. You've obviously got the Battle of Geonosis version, the sort of darker orange version. Loads of different battle droids that you could have got, but I'm not going to buy any more of these if they are still like this, basically. I need them to be all new, have a proper upper body, and that's kind of where I'm at with them, basically. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As I said, I've had this set a while, but just looking at it sitting there, I'm like, I just know what I'm going to be facing with this set. And unfortunately, you know, I was right. But as I said, the positive is the paint applications on these. The fact that they all look different in some way. I think that's obviously a really good thing that they've done there. But we will take a very quick close-up look at one of them and take a look at the articulation and very quickly just put him up against the previous version as well. Alright, so here he is close up. So you can just see some of that battle damage on his chest there. Ever so slightly. You've got some sort of silvers and then some like oil leakages and things like that. I think they have done a pretty good job with that paint application. Here's the leg articulation that I mentioned. Still goes way past 90, which is great. So you've got that sort of ball hinge there, which also now swivel as well, which the previous versions did not do. That does help with articulation. You have the hinge at the foot. Apart from that, the legs are on sort of like little ball joints there, I guess, but the rest of the figure is exactly the same. You've got those elbow swivels, but they don't swivel from left to right. It's just a swivel hinge, nothing at the wrist, and that is why this figure is still, you know, way short of what it should be. There's the alternative sort of backpack. Goes into a tiny little hole compared to the sort of larger backpack with the bigger peg, which goes into that hole just there on the back of the figure. But let's just bring in the previous version, and this is what I was saying. So this one to me almost looks carbonized. He's got that sort of wash over him that makes him look carbonized. So there you can really see the difference between the two. Look how bendy this one's legs are. So they have improved the legs, but in doing so, they've kind of made him out of proportion, if you like. But that's the difference. You can see every other part of this figure is the same apart from the legs, basically. The legs is just the only part that they've updated. But there you go then, guys. That is the Battle Droid 4-pack. It's not a set that I'm really enthused about, as you can probably tell. I think they should have made more of this, and it should have been next year, in my opinion. I don't really have anything else this year that they've released that these can go with. At least I can't think of anything right now off hand. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to my Patreon supporters and channel members as always. Your support means a great deal to me, so thank you so much, and we shall see you on the next one.